In the grand tapestry of romance, few threads are as vibrantly unique or as surprisingly tender as those woven with a touch of the supernatural. Enter the world of Loving a Vampire, a journey that transcends the mundane and flirts with the eternal, where passion meets the paranormal under the cloak of night. A guide that promises to navigate the heart-fluttering highs and blood-curdling lows of dating the undead. This is no ordinary love story. It's a tale sprinkled with midnight picnics, whispered sweet nothings that can curdle blood, and love bites that are, quite literally, to die for. So whether you've fallen for a vampire or you're simply curious about the logistics of nocturnal nuptials, you're in for a treat. Together, we'll explore the quirky, the eerie, and the downright humorous side of supernatural courtship. From dodging sunlight to dodging silver bullets, from blood-type compatibility to immortal in-laws, we've got you covered. Strap in and grab your garlic. Figuratively speaking, of course, unless you want to sleep on the couch for eternity. It's time to dive headfirst into a love affair that challenges the boundaries of time, tests the strength of passion, and occasionally requires a stake or two, for heart protection, naturally. Let the adventure begin, and may your love flourish in the shadows just as beautifully as it does in the light. After all, in the world of vampires, the heart beats strongest in the dark. Welcome to a journey of embracing the night with love. Tip 1. Night owl by nature. Love. It strikes when you least expect it, in the most unusual of circumstances. One minute you're minding your own business, and the next, you're head over heels for someone whose bedtime is when the sun comes up. Welcome to the nocturnal world of dating a lady vampire, where the phrase love at first bite takes on a whole new meaning. Adjusting to her nocturnal lifestyle means saying goodbye to early bird specials and embracing the night owl hootenannies. And let's be clear, this isn't just about becoming a night owl. It's about transforming into the kind of creature that considers midnight a reasonable dinner time. Think of it as living in a permanent state of jet lag without the actual travel. Now, to survive this upside-down schedule without turning into a caffeine-dependent zombie, you're going to need tools. The first order of business? Blackout curtains so thick they could double as a vampire's cape. You want your bedroom darker than the inside of a coffin on a moonless night. The goal is to trick your body into thinking it's always nighttime, even if it's noon and the sun is shining brighter than your vampire lover's sparkling personality. Next, you'll need to invest in the holy grail of survival, an espresso machine capable of delivering caffeine doses strong enough to wake the dead, or at least the undead. This magical device will become your best friend, your lifeline, and possibly your only connection to the waking world. Just remember, when choosing your machine, go for one with a bat mode, aka an endless supply of coffee. But here's the kicker. Adjusting to her schedule also means redefining your concept of date night. Forget dinner and a movie at 7 p.m. Think more along the lines of a midnight stroll through the cemetery or a 3 a.m. blood-type tasting session. It's all about compromise. And by compromise, I mean completely overhauling your circadian rhythm for love. In conclusion, dating a lady vampire is not for the faint of heart, or those fond of sunlight. But with the right preparation, and a serious investment in blackout curtains and espresso, you too can master the art of nocturnal romance. Just remember, while she may be a creature of the night, your love story doesn't have to be a nightmare. Stay caffeinated, my friends. Tip 2. Blood is thicker than water, and also a dietary staple. Navigating the culinary waters of a relationship is always tricky. But when your significant other's diet revolves around blood types rather than food groups, you've got yourself a culinary conundrum that Gordon Ramsay wouldn't touch with a 10-foot wooden stake. Welcome to the world of dining, where rare takes on a whole new meaning and to go means something entirely different for your vampiric belle. First things first, let's address the elephant in the room. Blood. When she says she prefers her meals liquid, she isn't talking about a smoothie. Embracing this liquid diet without becoming a meal yourself is about as easy as tap dancing on a tightrope. It requires finesse, creativity, and a really good butcher on speed dial. Now, dinner dates are going to look a little different. Candlelit dinners are still on the menu, but forget the steak and wine. Well, keep the wine glasses, they're still useful. The trick here is to find a compromise. Maybe a nice O-negative for her, and a pasta dish for you. Presentation is key. You can even clink glasses and cheer to your health, hers being eternal and yours not being on the menu. The real MVP in your culinary arsenal? Meal subscription services. But not just any. You're looking for the kind that caters to a niche market. I'm talking blood bags alongside your organic veggies. Think of it as a culinary adventure. Honey, what's for dinner tonight? Oh, just a delightful AB positive with a side of garlic-free bruschetta. Delicious. But here's where you can truly shine. Themed dinner nights. Who says a vampire diet can't be fun? Host a Transylvanian night where everything is appropriately themed, from the decor to the dinnerware. Just maybe skip the garlic bread. And the steaks. Definitely skip the steaks. In conclusion, while your love story might have more in common with a horror flick than a rom-com, remember, the way to a vampire's heart is through her stomach, or rather, the blood that pumps through it. With a bit of creativity and a lot of open-mindedness, you'll find that blood can indeed be thicker than water, especially when it's served in a crystal goblet with a sprig of mint. Cheers to love, the most unconventional meal of all. Tip 3. The X-Files. Dealing with immortal exes. Navigating a relationship is akin to walking through a minefield, blindfolded and on stilts. Now, throw in a partner with a romantic history that spans centuries, and you've got yourself an episode of The Bachelor Immortal Edition. Nobody asked for. Dealing with your vampire lady's exes isn't just about overcoming jealousy. It's about ensuring you don't become an anecdote in her millennia-spanning memoirs. First off, prepare to feel inadequate. Your greatest achievement might be that chili cook-off trophy from 3 years ago. But her ex? Oh. He discovered a new continent or starred as the mysterious, brooding figure in several historical events. Try not to let it get to you when she offhandedly mentions that date night in Versailles or that fling with a minor Greek deity. Now, dealing with these immortal exes requires finesse, subtlety, and a healthy dose of denial. When she reminisces about that one time in the 18th century, nod along and smile. Maybe change the subject to something safe, like the weather or how garlic bread is a crime against culinary arts. Anything but the fact that her ex was literally Casanova. Here's a pro tip. Immerse yourself in her world. Can't beat them? Join them. Start wearing more velvet. It's surprisingly versatile. Maybe learn an old-timey skill, like sword fighting or calligraphy. Not only does it show effort, but it's also a fantastic distraction from the fact that, in the grand scheme of things, you're basically dating someone who considers the invention of the wheel a neat new trend. Humor is your best friend. Can't compete with an ex who was a war hero during the Crusades? Crack a joke about how you bravely fought off that spider in the shower last week. Laughter is a great equalizer, and if she's with you, it's not for your historical conquests or your immortal charm. It's for the you that's here now. Battling spiders and all. Lastly, let's talk about the big E, eternity. Focus on building your moments together. Make memories that, while they might not last a millennium, will mean the world to both of you. Because in the end, love isn't about competing with the past. It's about making the present worth every second. In conclusion, dealing with your vampire girlfriend's immortal exes might seem like a daunting task, peppered with insecurity and a side of existential dread. But with a dash of humor, a sprinkle of confidence, and a whole lot of love, you'll find that even the shadow of centuries can't dim the light of true connection. So, raise a glass of whatever beverage doesn't remind her of anyone from her past, and toast to making history together, one day at a time. Tip 4. Meeting the parents, aka the ancient ones. So, you've made it past the initial stages of your relationship with a lady vampire, and you've managed not to become an accidental midnight snack. Congrats. But just when you thought it was safe to drop your guard and stop carrying garlic and holy water, you're hit with the real test, meeting her parents. And not just any parents, the ancient ones. These are the kind of in-laws that make regular, judgmental humans look like cuddly kittens. First rule of thumb, do your homework. You're not just meeting Bob and Linda from down the street. You're dealing with entities who've seen civilizations rise and fall, who consider the Renaissance a cute phase. Brush up on your history. When they casually mention they once had dinner with Cleopatra, Choking on your wine or asking if she was as hot as in the movies is not the way to go. Dress code. Think timeless, not trendy. Your favorite ironic t-shirt and ripped jeans won't cut it. We're talking classic, elegant, something that screams, I respect the timeless nature of your immortal souls. And for the love of all that's unholy, no crosses, no garlic necklaces, and definitely no wooden stakes, even if they're just part of a quirky cufflink set. Conversation tips. Avoid politics. You do not want to get into a debate over which century had the worst leaders. Religion. Obvious reasons. And the weather. They live in eternal night. What do they care about the forecast? Stick to safe topics like art, music, and how you aspire not to become prey. Flattery will get you everywhere. Compliment their crypt, rave about their cobweb collection, express awe over their ability to instill fear in the hearts of mortals. Gifts are crucial. You might think a nice bottle of wine is a thoughtful gesture, but these are folks who've drunk from the Holy Grail. Go for something unique, like a rare blood-type vintage or an artifact from a time they speak of fondly. Here's a piece of the Berlin Wall, might just spark a delightful anecdote about that time they almost turned Lenin into a vampire. Finally, have an exit strategy. Not because you might need to flee, though keep that in the back of your mind, but because impressing the ancient ones is about making a statement and then leaving them wanting more. Lingering leads to awkward silences, which, in vampire terms, could quickly devolve into a feeding frenzy. In wrapping up, remember, meeting the ancient ones is about balance. Show respect, but don't grovel. Be yourself, but maybe the best version of yourself that doesn't sweat garlic when nervous. Survive this, and you're not just dating their daughter, you're earning your place in the annals of vampire history. Just maybe, try not to end up as a footnote under accidental snacks. Tip 5. Eternal love. Handling the immortality clause. Navigating a relationship is tricky, but when your better half has been around since the Byzantine Empire, you're playing in a whole new ballgame. Welcome to eternal love. Handling the immortality clause where, till death do us part, has a lot more fine print, and you start to wonder if your retirement plan should include a coffin. First up, the age gap. Now, we're not talking a quaint 10 to 20 years. We're talking centuries. When she reminisces about the good old days of the 1200s, and your idea of retro is playing Pac-Man, there's bound to be a disconnect. My advice? Embrace it. Start wearing tunics to dinner. Refer to electricity as that newfangled wizardry. Casually drop into conversation that you've always found the Black Death fascinating. It's about making her feel seen. Then there's the social circle. Get ready to attend parties where everyone is unnaturally pale, fabulously wealthy, and suspiciously allergic to garlic. You'll need to brush up on your small talk. Discussing the weather won't cut it when her friends are reminiscing about the time they accidentally started a plague. Maybe read up on some history, or, at the very least, watch a few seasons of The Crown for some aristocratic gossip fodder. Eternity is a long time, which brings us to the "what are we" talk. It's one thing to debate moving in together, quite another to discuss whether you're ready to become a creature of the night for all eternity. Here's where you weigh pros and cons. Pro, you get to spend forever with the love of your life. Con, you have to give up garlic bread. Tough call. Let's not forget the in-laws. Meeting parents is daunting, but when her father is a literal ancient entity who views you as a temporary blip in his daughter's immortal existence, the stakes are higher. My tip: don't try to impress with tales of your high school football glory days. Instead, nod respectfully, laugh at his antiquated jokes, and whatever you do, don't ask if he knew Dracula. In conclusion, loving a vampire is not for the faint of heart. It requires patience, a robust sense of humor, and a willingness to accept that your love story might just outlast civilization as we know it. But, hey, on the bright side, you'll never have to argue about growing old together. Just remember, when it comes to eternal love, it's the little moments, like watching a sunset you'll never get to see, that truly count. So, stock up on SPF 1000 and get ready for the long haul. After all, forever is only the beginning. Tip 6. Sunscreen and silver. Let's talk survival kit, folks. When you're dating a lady vampire, it's not just about keeping a stash of holy water by the bed, though, let's be real, it wouldn't hurt. No. We're talking about mastering the delicate art of not accidentally offing your undead girlfriend with a well-intentioned gift. Welcome to Sunscreen and Silver, Safety First, where love means never having to say, "Oops, I forgot you're allergic to daylight." First off, sunscreen. Now, we're not talking your run-of-the-mill SPF 50. You need the kind of sunblock that could protect a polar bear under a hole in the ozone. Think SPF 1000, applied liberally and often. Because nothing says, "I love you," quite like ensuring your beloved doesn't burst into flames on a sunny day. Now, on to silver. You might think that silver jewelry is a thoughtful anniversary gift, but let me tell you, nothing kills the mood quite like your girlfriend dissolving into a hissing pile of vampire dust. Stick to safer materials like gold, or, if you're feeling particularly romantic, a nice bloodstone. It's all about being thoughtful and non-lethal. But here's the kicker: navigating public spaces. Picture this: a romantic stroll through the park hand in hand, when suddenly a street vendor tries to sell you a lovely silver necklace. Cue the awkward, no thanks, she's allergic? Followed by a frantic search for anything garlic-free at the food stalls. It's a minefield, I tell you. Dinner parties are another battleground. Oh, you brought your own cutlery? How quaint. Yes, because watching your date melt into a puddle because she touched a silver fork is not how you want the evening to end. Pro tip: always carry a set of non-silver eating utensils with you. It's quirky, but it's also relationship-saving. In conclusion, dating a vampire isn't just about the thrills and chills. It's about constantly being on guard for the well-being of your nocturnal sweetheart. It's SPF by day, silver-free environments by night, and always making sure that your love story doesn't end with an accidental exorcism. Remember, the best relationships are built on trust, understanding, and a well-stocked survival kit. Because in the world of vampire dating, safety always comes first. Tip 7. Netflix and no chill. Selecting the right entertainment. Dating a vampire isn't just about navigating nocturnal habits or dodging sunlight. It's also about mastering the art of entertainment. After all, your Netflix and chill sessions can quickly turn into Netflix and kill if you're not careful about the movie selection. So, here's how to ensure your movie nights don't end with you being the main course. First, rule out anything with vampire hunters. Van Helsing? Buffy? Off the list. You might think it's a thrilling choice until you catch her mumbling about amateurs and poor steak handling techniques. It's about as mood-killing as you can get, unless you're into that sort of critique session. Now, Twilight might seem like a safe bet. It's got romance, sparkly vampires, and what could be perceived as a positive portrayal of bloodsuckers. Wrong. The last thing you want is for your lady love to go on a rant about how real vampires don't sparkle. Or worse, get her into an existential crisis about her lack of sparkliness. What about the classics? Interview with the Vampire, perhaps? Be prepared for a long discussion on vampire ethics, the accuracy of Tom Cruise's portrayal of Lestat, and an even longer debate on whether Brad Pitt was the hottest vampire to ever grace the screen. Actually, scratch that. This might be your safest bet for a lively discussion. Comedies are tricky territory. You want to find something light and engaging, but avoid anything where the vampire is the butt of the joke. No one wants to see their significant other compared to Count Chocula or Edward Cullen. Stick to neutral ground, like Parks and Recreation. There's no way Ron Swanson would stake a vampire without a good reason. Lastly, consider documentaries. Not about vampires, obviously, but something you both can learn from. Like The Migratory Patterns of Bats. It's educational, related to her interests, and completely devoid of any staking, sunlight, or garlic references. Plus, it's a subtle way to suggest vacation spots. Oh, look, honey, Transylvania seems nice this time of year. In summary, selecting the right entertainment for your vampire girlfriend is about balancing her sensitivities with the need for shared interests. It's about understanding that while she might be immortal, her patience for poorly portrayed vampire tropes is not. So, choose wisely, laugh often, and maybe, just maybe, your movie nights can be about Netflix and actual chill. Tip 8. Travel plans. Nighttime destinations only. Vacation planning. A time of excitement, anticipation, and, when your girlfriend is a vampire, a logistical nightmare reminiscent of planning a moon landing. You thought coordinating time off was tough? Try aligning your holiday plans with someone who bursts into flames at the hint of UV rays. Welcome to Travel Plans, nighttime destinations only, where TripAdvisor meets Dracula. First off, kiss those beach holidays goodbye. Unless you find a beach that's exclusively nocturnal, they don't exist, I checked. You're better off steering clear. Instead, think moonlit cruises, cities famous for their nightlife, and any place where the sun dares not linger. Basically, if the destination has more bats than beach towels, you're on the right track. Now, packing for such a trip requires a little extra thought. Sunscreen for you and, well, more sunscreen. Because while she won't need it, you'll need to maintain that delicate balance between enjoying the moonlight and not turning into a lobster. Oh, and maybe pack some extra garlic, not for your vampire lover, but to ward off any overly friendly locals with sharp teeth and questionable dietary preferences. Activities are another hurdle. You can forget about that sunrise yoga or early morning jog. Instead, get creative with nocturnal adventures. Ghost tours, midnight movie screenings, or even a simple walk under the stars can turn into romantic escapades. The trick is to find the beauty in the darkness, figuratively speaking. Literally, the darkness is where she thrives. Dining out? Make sure the place has a late night section on Yelp. Your dinner reservations will be closer to breakfast for the rest of the world. But hey, who's to say romance can't happen over a plate of 2 a.m. spaghetti? Plus, it's an excellent opportunity to explore the local vampire cuisine. Just remember to clarify that your neck is not on the menu. Let's not forget the time difference. When traveling across time zones, try to pick places where nightfall matches her peak hours. There's nothing more disheartening than jet lag, compounded by a vampire girlfriend who's ready to party when you're ready to pass out. Syncing your internal clocks is more than just a convenience. It's a survival strategy. In summary, traveling with a vampire girlfriend is all about embracing the night. It's a unique way to see the world, filled with challenges, yes, but also with unparalleled beauty and adventure. So, pack your bags, grab your night vision goggles, and prepare for a journey where the night is not just a backdrop, but the main attraction. Just remember, the couple that prays together stays together. Or something like that. Tip 9. Love bites. Navigating physical affection. Navigating physical affection with a vampire can be tricky. It's like playing a game of Twister, where the wrong move could end with a nip in the neck. But fear not, for this guide is here to ensure your cuddle sessions don't turn you into an unwilling blood donor. First, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Love bites. In most relationships, a hickey might be a cause for embarrassment or a frantic search for concealer. But when your significant other has fangs, a love bite takes on a whole new level of significance. My advice? Invest in turtlenecks. They're not just for 19th century poets and tech moguls. They're a fashion-forward way to hide any misadventures. Consent is key in any relationship, but when dating a vampire, it's not just about saying yes to Netflix and chill. It's about setting clear boundaries. Babe, I'm totally down for a makeout session, but let's keep the blood-sucking to a minimum, okay? It's all about communication, folks, and maybe keeping a garlic necklace handy, just in case. Then there's the issue of your significant other's dietary needs. Bringing snacks to bed isn't just about keeping your energy up. It's about distraction. A well-timed, "Oh look, I brought some O-negative," can be the difference between a passionate night and ending up as the main course. Just remember, room temperature only. Nobody likes cold blood. Let's not forget the importance of ambiance. Dimming the lights isn't just for setting the mood. It's practical. Vampires are all about the shadows, and let's be honest, it also makes it harder for her to aim for your jugular. Plus, candlelight is universally flattering. Just make sure those candles aren't made of beeswax. You don't want to find out she's allergic the hard way. Finally, embrace the unique aspects of your relationship. Yes, she might be undead, and yes, her idea of foreplay might involve a bit more necking than you're used to. But love is about compromise, laughter, and sometimes carrying a first aid kit with you at all times. Remember, a relationship with a vampire can be as enriching as it is exhilarating, as long as you keep your wits and your veins about you. In conclusion, navigating physical affection with a vampire is about trust, boundaries, and a healthy sense of humor. With these tips, you're ready to embrace a love life that's both exciting and, with any luck, not exsanguinating. Here's to finding love in the most unexpected places, and to hoping that love doesn't leave too many marks. And so, dear adventurers of the heart, we come to the end of our guide. If you've chuckled, gasped, or even nodded along thinking, "Yep, been there," then our journey together has been a success. Love, especially the kind that comes with fangs and an aversion to daylight, is a wild ride. One that requires a stout heart, a steady supply of SPF 1000, and a robust sense of humor. We've navigated the nocturnal nuances of vampire romance, from the perils of dinner dates to the complexities of eternal love. You now know the importance of blackout curtains, the art of dodging X's with historical significance, and the essential nature of clear, consent-based neck-nibbling. Together, we've laughed in the face of danger, mostly because it's better than screaming. Remember, whether your significant other is mortal or immortal, the foundation of any relationship is trust, communication, and the occasional willingness to compromise on movie night selections. If love is an adventure, then loving a vampire is an epic saga, filled with passion, peril, and plenty of peculiar parental encounters. As we part ways, keep your heart open, your garlic stored away, and your sense of humor close at hand. Who knows? The next time you find yourself wandering under the moonlit sky, you might just bump into your own nocturnal paramour. When that happens, embrace the moment, and maybe, just maybe, offer them a mint instead of a steak. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the shadows of romance. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more tips, tales, and terrifyingly tender love stories. May your nights be long, your love immortal, and your laughter infectious. Until next time, keep your collar high, your spirits higher, and remember, love bites, but with the right guide, it can also heal. Farewell, intrepid lovers of the night. May your relationships be as enduring as the stars and twice as bright.